Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. So this video is just going to be a close down of June because I had quite a spendy month and I want to just check where I am. For those of you who haven't watched my last video, I did get paid for 2 months last month. So I made certain payments at the beginning of that pay period, even though it's now 2 months long. And I'm just checking in now to see what I did spend because I took a lot out of my sinking funds over the summer for things I had planned to do, as I spoke to you about before, and kind of where I am, what I've got left and what I'm planning to do with it. So I'm going to close out this budget because I am counting, it's the 13th of July today, and I'm counting this as my last day of this budget because I get paid usually the 14th or earlier, so it can be the 11th, 12th, 13th, depending on when the days fall with the weekend. But by Omani law, you're not allowed to be paid later than the 14th. So it was a good place just to have a stopping point so I can check I'm still on track. After I've done that, I will be recording my July budget, so I'll be wearing the same thing in that. That's why I'm recording them at the same time. Now, I did have to go in and just check my numbers because I was confusing myself, to be honest. But all the numbers I now have appear to be up to date. So we're going to start by going through my June local, and then we will look at just the sinking funds and where it is. I did talk about my sinking funds in my last video, but it looks like the cost for them is going to go over 2 pay periods. So I'm just adjusting slightly for that. And then we'll look how they're doing and I can set up July. Okay, 20 minutes later, I'm not sure why my game bar has been giving me such problems on my new computer, but it's just refusing to record the screen, which is weird because I had this problem and I fixed it and now I don't seem to be able to. Okay, it did update overnight, so it may have changed some settings. It's quite annoying. I might have to just look into like getting OBS or something like that. I'm stuck in my ways and it works the way it was without including anything, so it irritates me a little bit. Anyway, not really the point. Let's get into the budget. I'll put a picture over the screen so we can talk about it and then I'll figure everything out after. So let's take a look at my June local. As you can see, I've got some red areas and I will explain them. So my total income, as you can see, was higher than usual and I sent home 2,000 OMR, which equaled just under £4,000. My fixed expenses are my home internet, my electricity, my cleaner, my phone, and I pay money to transfer my salary every month. Now, some of those went as expected. My home internet and my electricity were bang on expectation. My home internet doesn't change. I was estimating my electricity. I put 60 on to cover me for the next couple of months, and I'm currently on 33, so it looks like my estimate was correct. One thing I did not estimate properly for was my cleaner. I must have miscounted the days. She came yesterday, so technically we had 3 visits from her this month instead of 2 because she comes every other week, and so sometimes it just, with the calendar, that's how it works. So I did have to find an extra 10 OMR for that. My phone, I don't quite know what I did. So I was going to put in 7 Rial to cover 2 months worth of phone because my phone is 3.5 Rial a month. It's quite cheap because I'm mostly on Wi-Fi. I don't pay to have like unlimited data while I'm out of Wi-Fi. I don't see the point. I just generally don't need it. But I had a little bit in the account, and so I was like, oh, I'll pay an extra 2 point something Rial to bring what's left in the account up to 3.5, and then I won't have to pay again. But I think when I worked that out, I may have thought that a payment had already gone out when it hadn't. So whatever I did, I paid a little bit extra this month for it, but I've just checked it and there's not enough to cover next month. So there must have been an extra payment there that I thought had already gone out that hadn't. So this isn't correct, but I paid a little bit extra and I'll be paying next month. So that ended up being 211 over what I was expecting, and my salary transfer was 5 as expected. So that meant I overspent by 12 Rial on my fixed expenses. I will have a conversion somewhere on how much that is in other currencies. Now, for my variable expenses, I was trying to use up some things I had in the freezer for my groceries. So I didn't spend as much because I was focused on that. I've still got some things in there. But when I do actually focus on that, I find I am spending a little bit less than I usually do. So I'm debating possibly challenging myself next month to doing 100 Rial instead of 120. We'll see if that's just pain for pain's sake, because I don't have to. And I know I've complained before about struggling with the groceries, but I've been more careful with it just recently, and I've been planning a little bit better. So just for the sake of seeing if I can do it, I may try that. But for now, I've got nearly 38 left in the groceries, and that's fine because I had other expenses this month. It will cover it. Transport was quite high. I've been back and forth from different places, and I went on an odyssey to try and find a medicine the dermatologist prescribed for me. Ended up having to like order something online that was similar but not the same. It was all a bit of a mess, but I spent like 5-6 Rial in taxis trying to go back and forth to find it, which was quite frustrating. So I spent quite a lot on taxis this month. School, I spent 5 on. I can't remember what I got. I think I got some laminator sheets. Beauty and health has been a little bit higher than I expected, and I may actually be changing my variable expenses. I'll explain that in the July budget, but through various things I had to buy, I am nearly 17 Rial over in this category. That's just how it worked out. I've been having quite a lot of things done, or will be having quite a lot of things done in this month and next month. So it just means the costs have been a little bit higher. I also had some skincare I had to replace. So I spent a little bit more. I'll try and keep an eye on that, but I think I may have to look at this category again once I've got a final cost and some things that are going to be happening. I'll talk about that more when I set up the next budget. Misc home, I gave myself 25 this month because I was going to be home, I was going to do more, and I spent most of it. My spending went up to 175 because I was given 150 gift voucher. I've mostly spent that gift voucher now. I bought some clothes, some shoes, some different things. And my clothing, which was 25, I've spent 19.30 of it. Now that I'm actually thinking about this, I think I might not have put how much I spent off of my gift card into this budget, potentially. When I last did this, I had 30 on the gift card, and I've spent some of it since, so that number's actually not up to date. I didn't overspend in the category though, so we're fine. When we go on to my sinking funds and my savings, this is where a lot of changes have happened. So as I told you in this setup, I put 2,000, that was 2 months, 2 salaries worth of savings into my pension, and I put 2 salaries worth of savings into my future fund, which was 4,000, which means that next month they will not be getting the standard payment in. For my taxes, I did go ahead and make the payment again to the tax authority because they had refunded me that payment for some reason. It's now in my account. Hopefully they don't refund it again, but it means my taxes are just taken care of now and I know it's paid. So please don't give it me back, HMRC. I don't know why you did the first time. So I've got 1,200 left in that sinking fund, and I will build on that as I get closer to needing it, but I'm pretty well prepared in advance, so I don't need to a lot. I'll keep that sinking fund open, but it will be a case of throwing 100 or 200 in when I've got it. Large purchases I discussed with you last time. I haven't yet gotten a refund from Amazon.co.uk for the extra I paid in import taxes. They don't seem to be very on top of that the way Amazon.ae are. So I'm still waiting to see if I'll get a little refund from there. If I do, then I'll put it into my next budget. But if I don't, we'll just take how much I spent as how much I spent. So at the moment, I've got 240 left in that sinking fund. But I've also got a new computer and a new version of Windows and etc. If you want more details on that spending, feel free to go back to the old video. Medical is the one that has now spread over 2 months because it's taking a bit longer than I thought it would. I thought it would all be finished this month, and that's not the case. So I did end up getting 600 in from YouTube and putting a little bit towards my medical. So when you look at what I've spent versus what I've got left, this is how it's worked out. I put 150 into the fund just to up it a little bit because I was spending. And if I go into what I spent in the medical, I had the skin bump removal thing and we're still healing from that, which is why certain other things haven't happened yet. But I paid 230 for that. My root canal, I went to the dentist a few days ago and I paid for the rest of the root canal. It cost me 100 Rial, which is about 200 and £10, £20, something like that. Now, the second half of that, the 50 Rial that I paid last time I went, because they split the payments into 2 visits, that hasn't actually posted on my credit card yet. When I go into my credit card and I see my remaining balance, I can see that it's been allocated to the amount of credit I've got left, but the transaction isn't coming up on my bill yet. And it might just be they're a little bit slow in posting it. It might just be that they posted it in the weekend and then it won't come on until probably Monday. I might get lucky and it might be Sunday, because Sunday is the beginning of our work week, but with it being a British card, it might wait until Monday. What I've actually gone ahead and done is the money that I'm going to be spending to pay off the credit card, because all my sinking funds are in the UK. So I pay on my credit card and I transfer the money from whatever account I've got it into to pay that off. I have put the money I've already spent into my spending bank account in the UK, the one that pays my card. And as soon as that posts, I will clear it. So that will, like, as I say, that will likely be Monday. So that means currently left in the medical fund that I haven't transferred to me yet, I've got 900. Now, the story of my teeth continues. I'm expecting and I'm allocating in the next budget 500 towards teeth costs, but I'm uncertain how much I'm actually going to spend, because we don't know exactly what I'm going to need at this point. I'll explain that more in the July budget, because it's a little bit of a long story, but I'm just guessing that 500 out of that 900 will go towards it, and I will reflect that in the next budget because it's going to start tomorrow, so there's no point taking it out of this one. I have the appointment, I have a cleaning appointment on Tuesday, and I have the whitening appointment on Thursday, and then I should know more what we're doing. But until we see the result of the whitening, we can't decide what's the best move forward for the next step. So she thinks I might not need the crown, but we'll see. I don't want to allocate that money anywhere else until I'm sure what I'm spending. So for right now, we're saying I've got 900 left. You'll have to ignore where it says subtotal 2,926. That's not entirely true. I just needed to make a note as to, like, I returned the tax money. I spent 1,800 out of the large purchases. I needed to record that, but it means it's accounted it wrong. So I'm really just looking at the current value and taking it off of there so I can keep track of it. But I do know that in my sinking funds account, I currently have 2,685. So the subtotal at the end is correct, which means I can work with it. All right, so that's where I am with my spending for June. I will record my July setup and put it up probably tomorrow, because that's when it's going to start, but I'll get it recorded tonight. And I will see you in that video to explain a bit more what's going on. All right, thanks everybody. Hope you've had a good month as well. Feel free to leave a comment down below. I'd love to check out some new channels for budgeting and things, so let me know. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.